Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Tottenham Hotspur versus Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the weekend. Me and Jack going to preview this one. Jack, this is a tough game for Everton, isn't it? Obviously won the last 4 Premier League matches. Drew with Fulham in midweek. Forget the pens. But this is a very, very tough game for the Blues.
Yeah, it certainly is a tough game. Tottenham seem to be coming back into that good form. They started the season and, they're just blessed with goals at the moment. Tottenham aren't they? You'd think losing Harry Kane had hurt them in front of goal, but everyone just seems to be chipping in for them. They've got players in form. They've got a midfield that does pretty much every job you'd want a midfield to do. I think they'll be looking at Everton's good form as well and, be wary of that. But also Everton's squad is stretched at the moment. They can't put their best 11 on paper out at the moment, potentially missing a key player in Doucoure as well. So it could be a tough one, this, for us.
Definitely. I mean, they are missing Doucoure, let's be honest. He's not playing at the weekend. Michalenko, the manager, said, they're going to look at him. He's a possibility. I don't think he believes Seamus Coleman or Ashley Young will be available either. So Everton are missing key players for this one. But the manager will have a game plan. Everton's issue is Tottenham have scored in 29 consecutive Premier League games. They're the only team in the Premier League this season that scored in every game. And therefore, like you said, there is goals everywhere in that side. And, Everton are coming off the back of 4 Premier League clean sheets on the run. Like I said before, 4 victories. You'd have to go back to 1970 for Everton to win 5 games on the run, so
in front of crowds.
In front of that, so it's a difficult one, obviously, for us. But that being said, West Ham have gone to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and won a couple of weeks ago. They did have a bit of a ropey run. They've obviously improved the last 2 games. They've had 2 good wins at home to Newcastle, away at Forest. But they're not infallible, and Everton, excuse me, have to go there and just perform the way they have been doing away from home.
Well, that's the thing with Tottenham, isn't it? For all the quality, and it does very much benefit them, but they push very high up the pitch, even when they don't necessarily have to. Under Postecoglou, they've got their style, and that's their style. They don't really compromise on it. They don't often, get a lead and sit back. So I think Everton's game plan needs to be within the knowledge that they might well concede here, and they might well concede first. Luckily for Everton do struggle with, if a team takes the lead, they can afford to sit back. Everton therefore have to have more of the ball. We know Everton sort of thrive in that 38 to 40% possession area. Tottenham might go a goal up and still might continue looking for another goal, still try and get on the ball. So Everton won't be forced to change their game plan as much if they do concede. We know they press high up the pitch. We know Everton are good on the counter-attack and can get the ball up the pitch quickly. It's by no means going to be easy, and of course you don't want to concede. But if Everton do go a goal down at the start, it might not follow the pattern we've seen Everton games go down when they do concede first. Yeah,
let me just clarify, 5 away games, 1970, that we won. I meant to put the away in and didn't. Yeah, you're right, I think. We can't look at this game without going, Abdoulaye Doucoure is a huge miss. He's 11 goals in 31 games since Sean Dyche took over as manager, which is an incredible return. I think he's been involved in 13 goal contributions, I think. Only Dwight McNeil is next to that since the manager took over in the league. Excuse me. Everton's problem is, what do you do there? The other night against Fulham, we've tried different things. We tried James Garner there. Second half against Burnley, when Doucoure went off at half time, he put Lewis Dobbin on and he tried to move things around. We found this last season when Doucoure was sent off against Spurs at Goodison, when Harry Kane had an eyelash in his eye. The 3 games after that, we almost lost the plot because we'd lost such a key component from what we do. So how do you think we combat that?
Well, you've got 2 choices, haven't you? You either try and replicate them to the best degree you can, and you play. We've seen Harrison play that role where it's you play off the striker and you just try and get into the similar positions Doucoure might, and you won't have your best game, but you'll allow us to play the way we're used to playing with Doucoure. Or you scrap that and you come up with a different approach. We've seen Everton go with 5 at the back in recent weeks, and Doucoure's role in that has changed. We've seen against Newcastle, Doucoure played deeper, so we didn't really play that same role either. I think Everton could benefit from going 5 at the back again here, especially when you look at Tottenham's attacking talent. That way you don't have to try and replicate a role without the player. Maybe that still means Harrison playing further forward and playing off Calvert-Lewin, but more of a striker trying to, really use that pace on the counter-attack. Or maybe you look at Danjuma, and I know that might seem shocking based on some of the things I've said about him on this show. I don't rate him particularly highly. I thought he did okay against Fulham, other than when we would have had a corner and he tried to keep it in and put it out for a goal kick. But he's got something to offer, against a team that didn't really work for him. Is that maybe that extra motivation there? So he's certainly an option, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a pity because you're right, he should be one who you're thinking, this is a straight swap. Let's get Danjuma off. If it's Calvert-Lewin or Beto, whichever the manager, I imagine it'll be Dom. Let's have Danjuma in that pocket behind them and picking it up and running at them and stuff. That's how you'd envisaged him when he came to the club.
But is it going to go that way?
It's just hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. You're right. The other night, he come on, he done okay. He got at them a few times. He should have probably won the game for Everton with the volley inside the box. He should have certainly hit the target. But you just don't look at him and think, yeah, he can come in and do us a job, because he just hasn't proven he's worked hard enough. Now, there has been some information put out there. He's doing one-to-one sessions now, trying to prove to the manager that, he really wants to get in and have his say. You're right, it could be Jack Harrison. If he played 3 at the back even, he could still go with Jack Harrison in that pocket. Is he really going to be ultra brave and go with Beto and Dom? Might be a bit of a stretch given how comfortable Tottenham are in possession to have 2 strikers. I think he's going to want someone to drop back into that middle and really fill in there. So that probably lies with Jack Harrison. We don't know what's happening with Andre Gomez. He's played an hour for the 21s, then he played 90 minutes for the 21s. He wasn't even on the bench against Fulham. So
it suggests he's not in the plans, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems that way. And we haven't got anyone else there to try to give the midfield a freshen up either, just because of the injuries. So they're the key areas. In Mykolenko, like I said before, they're going to make a late decision on him. If he plays, then obviously Evan will go back to a back 4, I imagine, and Miko will just drop in at left back. And he'll probably then end up with a 4-4-1-1. And then I do think you'll see Jack Harrison. Mind you, though, that makes it difficult because
who goes on the wing if Harrison
who plays on the right wing? So it does make sense, given what's available just right now, for the manager to play 3 at the back, have Patterson on one side and have Dwight McNeil as the left wing back on the other side, unless Miko's available and he plays him. Then you could have Harrison. Or if Mykolenko plays, then he could play McNeil in that behind the striker and have Harrison on the bench. So there are a couple of variations, but Spurs are a good side, and I know they had a little wobble. They had suspensions, they had injuries as well. He's still got 2 key players for them out, which is James Maddison and Van der Ven. They're both out at the minute. Absolutely key players for them. Richarlison, our old mate, is back, and unfortunately for us, he's scoring goals. But that's it. They've got good players, and we're going to have to do our jobs, aren't we? Every single one of them.
Yeah, certainly. And I think one thing Everton have got to try and avoid in this match is too much dilly-dallying on the ball. Tottenham have mostly enjoyed a lot of possession in most of their Premier League games this year. Obviously, that comes from having, player quality in the midfield as well. But I think it's also because they're very good at winning the ball back. And they've got very combative midfielders as well, and they're very good at, packing that centre of the pitch and winning the ball back and recycling it quickly, and that's why they make so many chances, and then that lends itself to the possession. You don't want to be giving the ball away consistently against Tottenham, especially when you're probably not going to have much of it. So whatever we do, whoever plays, is going to have to be very switched on and alert.
Brilliant use of the word dilly-dally as well there, Jack. I thought excellent. The XG of that would have been quite, tremendous to see. Let's have a look at the starting 11 that Sean Dyche used against in the last game. Here we go. This is at Burnley, obviously, in last Premier League match. He had Patterson, Godfrey, Keane, Tarkowski, Dwight McNeil. And then that 4 across the middle, obviously, Harrison, Doucoure, Onana, James Garner, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It certainly didn't set up like that. There was interchanging going on all over the show, wasn't it? Amadou Onana just basically sat in the number 6. But from that side, obviously, we know Doucoure's out the side. Ben Godfrey came out for the Fulham game and Jared Branthwaite was back in there. If he does play 3 at the back, do you think it'll be Keane or will it be Godfrey?
I think it will be Keane, and to be honest, while I wouldn't normally favour Keane over Godfrey, to be honest, I'd understand if he did want to pick Godfrey for this, because you look at the pace in that Spurs team, if they are to get him behind us, you know, Kulusevski is absolutely rapid, isn't he? And, you know, we've seen Ben Godfrey's recovery pace against Burnley and, okay, his position and all that, he can get into that, but he does have a bit of pace, and maybe that could be the difference maker if Tottenham do manage to get him behind us, if we have a little spell where we're controlling the ball and they break away with it. But I think ultimately if it's 3 at the back, he is going to pick Keane, so it's irrelevant really, isn't it?
He has, yeah. I mean, Ben Godfrey has, of course, been linked with a move to Tottenham in January as well. Let's have a look at the Spurs side that played last time out. They've gone with Pedro Porro at right back, Romero, Ben Davies and Udogie. Bissouma, who was missing from this one, isn't he? They've got Papa Sarr, Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski, Son, who's an incredible footballer, and Richarlison up top. So they've got to make a couple of changes as well, but still a strong side. Like you say, we have got to be switched on. I mean, Everton's record, Everton have won 1 of the last 21 Premier League games against Tottenham, which was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was a header from Dominic Calvert-Lewin on day 1 of the season that year with Carlo in charge and James Rodriguez and people like that in the side. But great times. Although it was COVID, there was nobody in the ground to see it. But we have just got to go there and execute our plan, like we said. But the player we've picked out, as good as attacking options they've got, Heung-min Son is still, you know, the one that we're picking out as the danger man. This is his numbers from this season in the Premier League. 17 games, 10 goals, XG of 6.35, so he's overperforming. 4 assists, and he's averaging 3.76, I think that is XA. A game. It's to quote Ped, his heat map looks like antigen or something I mean, look at him. It looks like you see on like Outbreak. Look how it's everywhere, isn't it?
He gets everywhere. One of the reasons why is, I think, because Tottenham have interchangeable forwards. You know, sometimes it'll be Richarlison through the centre, sometimes it'll be Son.
Yeah.
You know, Johnson can probably play there if they need him to. So they can
rotate. Score at Wolves going through the middle, didn't we, Brennan Johnson?
So they can rotate how that forward line-up looks, and that's dangerous for us because we've got to stay switched on to where players are lining up in front of us as well.
Yeah.
But Son, wherever he is on the pitch, he requires attention. I mean, outperforming his XG like that with a relatively high XG as well. You'd think, you know, for a sort of winger turn striker, you'd think it'd be his movement and his pace setting himself up for quite easy chances, which would suggest a higher XG closer to his goal tally. But that just shows you he'll finish anything that comes his way at the moment. He's such a dangerous player, and you can't give him an inch of space if he gets near that box.
No, and we've seen him bending things in from both sides. You can't even say, oh yeah, get him on his left foot, he's fine, because I've seen him bend them in with his left foot, and he is such a dangerous player. Brilliant movement, quick, doesn't leave it alone. Obviously got a bit of history with Everton over the Andre Gomez thing a few years ago, but he's certainly one to watch. And it is going to be a difficult game. I mean, you know, they've got one of the most likeable managers in certainly in the Premier League, haven't they, in Ange Postecoglou. And just quickly, has he impressed you with what he's done so far at Spurs?
Oh, massively. I mean, I was a fan of him back in his Celtic days as well. It's easy to look at Celtic and think, oh, well, obviously they should have won the league. It's a 2-team league. But at the state they were in before he came in, he's turned them around massively. And he's done the same thing at Tottenham, not just in terms of squad overhaul. I think there's players who've improved under him. You know, Son, arguably having his best season of his career. And he's had some strong seasons before, obviously, but Richarlison doing better as well. And seeing players like Lo Celso coming back into the mix. I think he just creates a really positive atmosphere, whatever team he's at. And for a team like Tottenham, who've had a tough few years, you know, trying to bring in these big established managers, you know, big names in Europe, and okay, continue what you've done through your career. He suits Tottenham to a T. And I mean that with full respect to them. Get a manager off a club similar stature to you or smaller than you to come in and take you to the next level. Tottenham don't suit plucking someone from above and bringing them down and hoping they'll pull them up with them. Tottenham are a team that, okay, sign your young players and sign these hidden gems and we'll all improve together. And that's everything Ange's as a manager, and he's going to continue doing brilliantly there, I think.
Yeah, he's been hugely impressive. They play great football. You see him with the numbers, the goals they're scoring in every game, the only team to do so. We saw that bizarre game against Chelsea with 9 men. They were still playing on the halfway line. Mad stuff like that, attacking football. Every interview I've ever seen with him, he's sound. Seems like a sound fella.
He's brilliant personality, isn't he?
And he loves Football Manager as well. I've seen an interview with him talking about Freddie Adu, Football Manager, so therefore he gets a big vote for that as well. It is going to be a tough game for us. Taking something would be good. Just keep it going, keep this run going. Is it a game Everton can win? I mean, I think so. Listen, we'd have to probably ride our luck a little bit, but it's a game we can win. We've proven over the last, we've got 26 points in real time, haven't we? We've won 8 games of football so far this season. We've won 5 away games. We should be 8 points off Spurs.
if we had, I think it is.
So, Everton have been strong this season. Even when we've been really good, we haven't had a great record at Tottenham, but
we've seen teams smash and grab them this season, haven't we? It can be done against them. You do need a little bit of luck and you need to be very solid defensively, but it certainly can be done. And this is a team who, excels in that sort of performance.
Let's go and do it. Let's go and have a nice Christmas smash and grab. Be lovely. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. How do you see this one going? Who are the danger men for you? Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. See you later.